Learning a new language is never easy, and English was no exception for me. I faced many struggles, moments of frustration, and self-doubt, but one thing made all the difference: reading. Today, I want to share my journey of learning English and explain why reading is an essential tool for language learners. If you are struggling with English or any other language, stay with me until the end because I have some useful tips that might help you. And don't forget to subscribe for more language learning content. When I first started learning English, I felt lost. I memorized grammar rules, studied vocabulary lists, and practiced speaking, but I still couldn't understand real conversations. I remember watching movies and only catching a few words. I tried listening to native speakers, but their speed and expressions confused me. It was frustrating, and at times I felt like giving up. Everything changed when I discovered the power of reading. At first, I started with simple texts, children's books, short stories, and basic articles. I read slowly, looking up every unknown word, which took a lot of time. But gradually, I started recognizing words and phrases without needing to check the dictionary. My brain was absorbing the language naturally. As I read more, I noticed improvements in my vocabulary and sentence structure. Words that once seemed difficult became familiar. I began to understand how sentences were formed, and this helped me not only in reading but also in speaking and writing. Reading gave me the confidence to express myself more clearly. However, there were moments of doubt. I sometimes felt frustrated when I didn't understand a passage or when I had to look up too many words. But over time, I realized that struggling through difficult texts was actually helping me grow. The effort I put into understanding complex sentences and unfamiliar expressions was training my brain to think in English. I wasn't just memorizing words. I was truly absorbing the language. One of the biggest breakthroughs for me was reading books that I already knew in my native language. Since I was familiar with the story, it was easier to follow along and guess the meaning of new words without feeling overwhelmed. This made reading more enjoyable, and I started to look forward to it instead of seeing it as a chore. Why reading is a must. Reading is a powerful tool for language learners because it exposes you to real, natural language in context. Unlike vocabulary lists or grammar exercises, reading teaches you how words are actually used. It improves comprehension, enhances writing skills, and expands your knowledge of different cultures and expressions. One of the biggest advantages of reading is that it allows you to learn at your own pace. Unlike listening to fast conversations, reading gives you the time to absorb information. You can reread sentences, analyze how words connect, and understand grammar without pressure. The more you read, the more your brain gets used to the patterns of the language, making speaking and writing easier. Another benefit of reading is that it helps with pronunciation and listening skills. When you read, especially out loud, you train your brain to recognize sounds and rhythm. If you combine reading with audiobooks, you can reinforce pronunciation and listening comprehension at the same time. Additionally, reading expands your thinking and helps you connect with different cultures. Books, articles, and even blogs expose you to different ways of expressing ideas, common idioms, and everyday speech. This is something that traditional language lessons often miss. By reading, you are not just learning a language. You are also learning how people think, how they tell stories, and how they communicate emotions. Another reason why reading is so valuable is that it builds confidence. Many language learners hesitate to speak because they fear making mistakes. But when you read frequently, you naturally absorb sentence structures and vocabulary, making it easier to form sentences when you speak. Over time, you start to trust yourself more because the words and expressions are already familiar to you. Learning English was a challenge for me, but reading transformed my journey. It gave me the tools to understand the language better, build my confidence, and communicate more effectively. If you are struggling with English, I encourage you to start reading. Choose books or articles that interest you, read consistently, and be patient with yourself. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more tips and stories about learning English. And let me know in the comments what book or article helped you the most in learning English. See you in the next video.